All right, guys, we are here today. Market's down. Let me fix this. There we go. All right, so gold is running up. Bitcoin's still under 100K. SPY is down significantly this morning. This is mostly driven. Han's been kind of alerting me of this. Hold on, let me sip my coffee. Yeah, so it looks like most of this is driven by overseas. So the DeepSeek buzz is what this is driven by. Basically, Chinese AI startup DeepSeek tanked a lot of markets this morning, raising questions over the US's tech dominance. DeepSeek's latest AI model being cost-effective while running on less advanced chips, casting doubt on the validity of the rich valuations for companies like Nvidia and other AI chip companies. It's led the global AI stock boom. Nvidia has led the global AI stock boom. Its chips have been seen as essential. Shares of Santa Clara, California-based firm slid over 10% in pre-market. If we look at Nvidia this morning, basically what I'm gathering here, and this pullback's not the end of the world. We're down to 125. It's not good for sure. But basically what we're looking at is Chinese company is demonstrating AI where you don't need super powerful microchips to use it. We got some quotes here. It says, quote, DeepSeek shows that it is possible to develop powerful AI models that cost less, according to Wei-Cern Ling, managing director at Union Bancaire Privée. They said, quote, it can potentially derail the investment case for the entire AI supply chain, which is driven by high spending from a small handful of hyperscalers. There's roughly 278,000 NASDAQ 100 futures contracts that changed hands this morning. 3 times more than normal. We're up 3x versus average volume on the downside this morning. And yeah, you can see the SPY dipping down to 595s, Nvidia down to 126. Very big drops. Very big drops. And China Vanke's CEO chairman resigns. A 6.2 billion forecast loss deepens. All right, so property developer China Vanke said on Monday its chairman Yu Lang and CEO Zhu Jinsing stepped down as it forecast a record of 6.2 billion net loss for 2024 as concerns grew over the company's liquidation deepened. Yeah, they said, quote, to effectively mitigate risks and earnestly safeguard the interests of house buyers, creditors, and investors, the board has resolved to strengthen the group's management capabilities, leverage the resource advantages of Shenzhen Metro as the substantial shareholder in other parties, end quote. Said in a filing, is what he said. So interesting, a lot of redness. Gold up, obviously. Nvidia down, SPY down, NASDAQ down big this morning. What a correction. Yeah, so we did have the rate decision. They ended up raising rates up to 50 basis points, which was the highest in I think it's like 18 years for the Bank of Japan. This happened last week though. So that happened on Thursday basically. So we already knew that. That happened on Thursday. This correction is specifically from the one we just talked about, which is DeepSeek. The rate decision already happened last week. The markets last week, like if we look at Friday, yeah, I mean we did dip a little bit on Friday, but not like anything substantial. This was the SPY on Friday. This is the SPY today. So just a different thing, different catalyst. And this is a big week too, man. I've been telling people, I think if we're going to correct, this week's big. This week we got Microsoft, Meta, IBM, Tesla earnings. We got FOMC decision. We have Apple earnings. We've got GDP data on Thursday. We've got PCE inflation data on Friday. If we're going to correct big, it's going to be this week. And we kind of already are. This is kind of starting the week off. But yeah, these are some big corrections. Honestly, my portfolio is not really down much at all. Alibaba's doing good. Like, I have shares in Alibaba, and so that's kind of like hedging me this morning versus the other ones. But yeah. Yeah, SoFi had earnings this morning. Let's take a look at those. Yeah, definitely volatile this morning. SoFi Technology posted 29-cent profit versus 4-cent expected. Revenue of $739 million. They expected $678. I'll put SoFi's numbers up in the chat so you can read this. There you go, guys. But yeah, SoFi down significantly. So they must have seen something in their earnings call they didn't like, or something in their earnings release they didn't like. Let me see if I can find any more data. But if I look at SoFi here, it's down on good earnings for the most part. Much better than expected EPS and revenue. That doesn't necessarily, that's not the end all be all though. Like, there's a lot of stuff that comes out for SoFi that is a little bit more important. Dude, why is my nose so red on screen? Look how red my nose is here, guys. Wow. Is it supposed to be that red? Bro, look, I literally made myself black and white, yet there's still red on my nose. Look at that. Why is it so red? No, whatever. I'm lying. Hey, maybe that's why. Hey, listen. I don't know what I'm lying about. I'm just kind of reporting news, but hey. Yeah, it might be a jiu-jitsu hit. That's possible for sure. I've been training more lately because I'm taking my blue belt test this week. And so I've been training more than normal. Yeah, it's red to follow the market. Yeah, I guess so. All right. Yeah, I don't know. I guess so, man. Maybe y'all are right. Maybe. John, it's your new market indicator. Yeah, bro. Listen, it burns red when the market goes red. You know. All right. Maybe I'm a bear. Yeah. Buy the dip? I don't know. I'm not interested in buy the dip personally. I think it could work. It just depends on what you think the economic data is going to show today. Like, it might work. It might not work though. Like, we really don't know. Yeah, we just really don't know. Here, hold on. Let me switch the song up. Yeah, I gotta switch the star up. Yeah, I guess the good question to do on the poll today is, are you selling this morning? Or do you think this drop continues or bounces back short term? Do you think the market continues or bounces back short term? I really have no idea. Honestly, I told you guys I thought we could correct sometime this year or next year. And, you know. I still think it's possible that we correct sometime this year, next year. I really don't know though. Like I genuinely don't know. You know, Pepsi up a lot today. That's good. So I think we're gonna do a poll based around that. Let's do one. All right, guys. So, do you think we correct this year? Do we continue to correct? I guess we should say. Do we continue to dip, or do we rebound? I guess that's got to be the question, right? Alibaba up big today too. We're nicely up on Alibaba. It's one of our larger positions. All right, guys. Yeah. Let's see. My scroller's not even on, bro. I'm just realizing my scroller's not even on. Let me get my scroll up. Top scroller. I don't like that scroller. Where's the other one I had, bro? I had like the big... There it is. I like this one. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Do not copy me. Not an investment professional. I'm not liable. If you lose money, don't copy me. All right, guys. Does the market continue to correct or bounce back short term? Correct. Continues down or bounces back. All right, chat. Vote on the poll. Let me know what you guys think. We got the poll live. Yeah, SoFi already published their data here. I'm going to look a little bit more deeply into this to make sure they don't have, like, guidance or anything. So SoFi is down. So this probably has to do with guidance. SoFi posted... All right, so SoFi Tech reported quarterly earnings and revenue above estimates. CEO Anthony Noto deeming 2024 the, quote, best year ever, end quote. At the same time, shares are down over 10% this morning. Guidance from the company overshadowed quarterly results is what they're saying. Yeah, so SoFi forecast adjusted net revenue between $725 and $745 million and earnings of 3 cents a share. Wall Street thought they'd have $688 million and 5 cents a share. Fiscal 25, they expect net revenue between $3.2 billion and $3.25 billion and earnings per share between 25 and 27 cents. Analysts had forecast revenue of $3.02 billion and earnings of 28 cents. So, yeah, they're still down. If we look at SoFi on the left, they're down to $16 a share. Will they bounce back? I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, my bad. The music's not playing. Sorry. Is this perhaps the pre-signs of a financial crisis like 2008? I mean, it could be. You never know. I've told you guys, like, I'm not really interested in buying up a lot right now. I'm just not interested in it. I think there's too much risks. I think there's problems. There's problems in terms of extension, and it doesn't necessarily mean we have to extend, you know. Like, again, I was getting into a conversation with somebody I know. With somebody I know, and their premise was basically like, hey, the market can't correct. You know, like, everything's too strong, it can't correct. And my response to them was that the market can always correct, right? Like, in a lot of the time, the market actually has a tendency to correct after big technology revolutions. You know, the internet in 2000, huge technology revolution, one of the biggest in history. I think everybody would mostly agree that the internet is one of the most game-changing technologies that's ever been put out there in the world. But even still, after the dot-com boom, we had one of the longest bear markets in history, starting in 2000 and ending in like 2010, 2011. And so it doesn't necessarily mean we can't correct just because we have a good technology. And I think the market's up over 100% in the last 2 years from AI, specifically the NASDAQ. And so it's certainly possible we correct. And this is something I've been saying for months now. I'm not interested in buying up stuff. I think we could correct. Now, I don't know how much. Typically the market generally corrects at least 10% once a year. And then it kind of continues as business as usual. So just because I'm saying we could correct doesn't necessarily mean we're going to have some parabolic, end of the world crash scenario. But the market could dip 10% or more. And I don't know. I really don't know. This is much more difficult to predict. You know how many people have predicted crashes over the last 10 years, and they've just been wildly wrong. The market just keeps on going up, and then they yell manipulation or cry about it, and most of the time they're just kind of butthurt because they were wrong. But the point is, people wildly overpredict crashes as well, and so it doesn't necessarily mean anything. And the market can just keep churning up. It doesn't necessarily mean we have to correct. All right, guys, we got 500 people here already. I don't think we have any big economic data today. Let me make sure. I don't think we do, but let me just check. Yeah, so we got new home sales at 10. We got SoFi and some other earnings that are small this morning. The big stuff happens for the rest of the week. We got AT&T release. SoFi BDPS beat revenue, kind of missed guidance. AT&T BDPS beat revenue. Looks like they missed guidance as well. Those are the only two big ones this morning. And then we got new home sales at 10 a.m. Tomorrow we got durable goods, consumer confidence data, and more earnings. Wednesday, Fed meeting. Yeah. I just got on stream. Why are we dumping? So yeah, the AI news that happened this morning was that Chinese AI startup DeepSeek, essentially what they're saying is that they were able to they were able to run some of the latest AI models on less advanced chips, is what the news is. They're basically able to run some of the latest AI models on less advanced chips. This is casting doubt on the need in AI for the best, most expensive chips out there in the world, right? This is casting doubt on all that stuff. These tech advances are going to take place all the time. Don't sell doodle or FUD. Yeah, I mean, but they don't really take place all the time. We've seen maybe 5 of them over the last 20 years. I would say EVs, AI, certainly 2 of them. There's a couple other ones. Let me use AI to figure them out. But they certainly don't happen multiple times a year. Yeah, so we got Apple, Microsoft, Meta, Tesla, GM, Starbucks, and Exxon earnings this week. We got the Fed meeting. We've got GDP data on Thursday, PCE data on Friday. We got Oracle earnings. So shares decreased 6.4% for Oracle reports related to the company's involvement in the new president's administration's plans for FTT, I guess. Yeah, AI I think certainly is gonna like push the advancements higher. We'll see. Yeah, so the internet boom, late 90s, early 2000s, smartphone revolution 2007, social media 2004, AI, and blockchain, some of the bigger ones. All right, so yeah, the big five: the internet boom, smartphones, internet boom in the 90s, smartphone revolution in the 2000s, AI really in the 2010s, cloud computing, and then blockchain. And then some would argue you could also throw EV in there too, right? But those are the big five. Yeah, essentially they're saying DeepSeek is able to run more advanced models than they thought on worse chips, maybe sparking less of a need for some of these chips. You know, that's essentially what they're saying right now. And that's what the fear is. Looking at the poll numbers, we're completely 50-50 split on this. 300 votes already in about 9 minutes. 50% think continues down. 50% thinks they bounce back. We already got over 500 people here 20 minutes into the stream. So you can tell something big's going on in markets because, yeah. And markets are down. Should I buy the dip? I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of like the Chinese version of ChatGPT. Yeah, the opening's going to be crazy. We'll see. It's a short-term dump. Maybe. That's definitely possible. Again, I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't. Yeah, Nvidia is the one that's down big, right? So Nvidia dipped all the way from basically 150s down to where it's at now, which is 120s. So Nvidia fell pretty significantly on this news. Yeah, we got the Fed decision. We got all the big earnings reports. So we got the Fed decision. We have Apple, Microsoft, Meta, Tesla, GM, Starbucks, Exxon, and more. Broadcom is down 13%. Nvidia shares are down over 10%. Oracle is down almost 7%. AT&T is up on good earnings. ASML is down almost 9% from more AI sector impacts. Yeah. Yeah, we got durable goods tomorrow. GDP Thursday, PCE Friday, Fed decision Wednesday, Apple, Microsoft, Meta, Tesla, GM, Starbucks, and Exxon earnings. All this week, guys. That's a gang of reports this week, man. Y'all just want to be careful. That can cause a lot of volatility. Yeah, it's a bunch of stuff. Well, it's too early to say Nvidia's going to dump. Nvidia being at 125 a share is still pretty successful at the company. It's not like this means it's the end of the world yet, you know. What do you guys think? Crazy drops though, man. Crazy drops. So they got this guy that says he's mining Bitcoin in West Texas at 4 cents flat. But then he goes on to say his invest requires 1.2 million USDT Tether coin. Are they using it? Sun? If it's in West Texas, they might be using the sun. I don't know. It says they use 1.6 milliwatts of hydro cooling site for self-mining. The rate is 0.04 cents per kilowatt per hour, all in doing demand response. 8 heat cores, NS200 cabinets, and SCS plus dry cooler, 160 miners. Overclocking up to 35%. See, the risk does not go with what the expected outputs are. The risks is, do energy prices stabilize for as long as it would need to recoup your investment back with something like this? You know, especially if you need a $1.1 million investment, you know. Let's say you earn $40K a month, right? At $40K a month, you know. At $40K a month, you're still gonna need sorry, hold on, I calculated this wrong. Hey baby, how you doing? You're still gonna need 30 months, you know, which is years, 2.5 years to make it back. That's a lot of time. You doing all right? All right, guys. Sorry, my wife's coming in here talking to me. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of variables. Where's Tesla at? I haven't even looked at Tesla. I know SoFi's down a little bit on guidance. Here's Tesla. Tesla down to under 400s right now. Yeah, it's kind of interesting how much, like, the market heating up, man. I don't think we have any other big news today, too, outside of this. Like, we got building permits in 10 minutes. New home sales at 10. Tomorrow we got durable goods, Case-Shiller, house price index, CB consumer confidence data. Our poll is still a completely 50-50 split, which is weird. Vote on the poll. That's strange. 400 votes. Now it's 51-49. Most people think it bounces back. Yeah, essentially what happened here, guys, is China said that a Chinese company basically said that they are running some of the latest AI models on worse chips than they thought they needed. You know, meaning that maybe we don't need some of these super high-powered chips, and that's causing fear and worry in microchips here, like fear and worry in microchips. People are fearing that they might not need the most advanced AI models and chips. Yeah, the poll is showing indecision for sure. I'm rooting for the Eagles personally. I want to see Jalen Hurts win. The Chiefs have won enough, man. Like, oh, great, the Chiefs win again. Congratulations, bro. Like, I want to see the Eagles and Jalen Hurts win. I watched Jalen Hurts when he played in college. You know, I'm a big LSU fan, and, like, I remember the games with Jalen Hurts, and he did great, you know. And so I'm for the Eagles. I'm rooting for the Eagles. All right, guys, markets are trying to bounce back some. You think Fed might drop interest rates this week? Well, I think this adds a little bit more of a reason to, but I don't think they're going to. I think it's going to stay pretty stable. The interest rates expectations have changed, though, guys. Look at this. So, yet last week, the likelihood that the Federal Reserve on Wednesday was going to cut rates was less than 1%. Less than 1% last week. This has pivoted all the way to, about 2.7% likelihood of a rate cut. You know, so 2.7% likelihood of a rate cut. Still 97-3, basically. But it's a lot, this changed a significant amount based off of today's weakness. You know, the whole logic of the Fed, like, they're not going to cut rates unless they have a reason to. Inflation's been under control. When we got the last inflation report, it was reasonable. It wasn't, like, horrible. It was lower than expected for inflation in a lot of places, too. And so with that, there's just not much of a reason to, panic and cut rates aggressively. And so it's pretty improbable that we're going to cut Wednesday, but those percentages did change, probably due to the big weakness that we're seeing in markets right now. Yeah, markets are down big. Bro, I don't even know what financial advice is, dude. If you copy me, you'll lose. Do not do it. There's a lot of factors here today, 100%. Yeah, I'm kind of nervous to get my blue belt too, bro. I'm supposed to take the blue belt exam this week, and part of that exam says I have to teach the moves. You know, I mean, I'm top 3 educators in the world right now, but, like, I'm kind of nervous about it. Part of me doesn't want a blue belt to begin with, to be honest, because I'd rather be underestimated than you get a blue belt, you get a target on your back. I'm just nervous about it. Hey, congrats, Hunter. What's up, Richard? Is XRP bouncing? Yeah, Bitcoin's down to under 100K now. Inflation isn't down, the rate of increase is down. Right, but that's what I mean when I say inflation almost never literally goes down. Right? Inflation's almost never going to literally go down unless we're in, like, a massive recession or depression. But it slows down, right? And that's the best we can hope for. After 2020, the Fed did a bunch of quantitative easing, which is like money printing, where they create bank reserves and they use it to buy up bonds and other assets, injecting liquidity and ultimately helping interest rates be a little bit more dovish. But the consequence of all that money printing, stimulus checks, low interest rate environment to try to save us from, like, a 2020 depression or recession, the consequence was inflation. So inflation spiked up to like 10% in 2022 following all of that economic stimulus of 2020. And then the Fed had to kind of play catch up. So they had to kind of pivot to the other side, where they did a bunch of quantitative tightening. They did what's called passive QT. So, like, they let their current bond holdings mature and run off their balance sheet, reducing their balance sheet over time. The point is, though, the consequence of all that stuff, like, the Fed has to pick their poison in that regard. They have to say, hey, do we want to let us enter a deep recession and depression, which a lot of people would argue was the better move in 2020. You know, let us go into a deep recession and depression, Yeah, people would be unhappy, but inflation would be more manageable. Prices would be a little bit lower right now if they would have done this. But of course, in that regard, if that did happen, people would be screaming and yelling, saying, I can't believe y'all let us hit a recession or depression. So no matter what the Fed does, people are going to complain about it. They chose to go the other route, which was do a bunch of economic stimulus, inject liquidity into those markets, and ultimately try to save us from a recession and depression. But the consequence of that was inflation. And so at this point, we're playing catch up, and we just have to essentially just try to bring it down closest. We have to bring it as close to zero inflation growth on the year, as we can. And that's a trickier thing than a lot of people understand. But we're not doing too bad. I think, what was the last inflation report? CPI earlier this week came out. I think it came out on like the 15th. PPI came out. PPI showed up at 0.2% lower than expected, 3.3% on the year lower than expected. And PPI, let me see. Yeah, PPI showed up higher than last time year over year, lower than last time though, month over month. So the rate at which it's growing slowed month to month at least. CPI showed up flat, basically, lower than expected for core, neutral for regular. So it did show up lower than expected in a lot of areas, specifically core month over month. Last time it was 0.3. This time it showed up at 0.2%. They expected 0.3%, so it was lower than expected as well. Year over year for core showed up at 3.2%. Last time it was 3.3%. They expected 3.3% as well. So it was lower than expected for core and flat for regular. The big one, though, the one the Fed watches is called PCE, the Personal Consumption Expenditure Index. That drops this Friday. That is expected. Let me look at what that's expected at in the first place. So that is expected on Friday at regular PCE is 2.6% expected. That is a jump up from last time's 2.4%. The PCE you want to watch, though, regular PCE is for the most part insignificant. What the Fed uses to gauge inflation, and what everybody else does as well, is core PCE inflation data. So that is expected at 0.2% on the month for December. Core PCE year over year expected at 2.8%, which is basically flat month to month. But that's a really important report this Friday that you want to pay attention to. We'll cover it live as soon as it drops at 8:30 Eastern time. So yeah, just tune in. But yeah, the market fears tariffs right now for sure. Yeah, so again, Chinese startup DeepSeek has introduced an advanced AI model, the R1, developed at a fraction of the cost of existing models. This has raised concerns about future demand for high-priced AI hardware and chips, leading to a big sell-off this morning. That's the reason the drop is happening. NVIDIA shares have down 11%. Broadcom shares are down 13%. ASML shares are down almost 9%. Futures tied to the NASDAQ 100 sank over 4% this morning. Earnings are this week in Microsoft, Meta, Tesla, Apple, IBM, and more. The Fed decision is on Wednesday. That's a big event. We got GDP on Thursday. And speaking of economic weakness or strength and inflation, GDP this Thursday is expected at 2.5%. 2.5%. So just to put this into perspective, right? This is which revision of GDP data is this? This is so this GDP data is, I'm trying to see which one this is. Hold on, GDP quarter over quarter. Usually they tell me. Somebody else is probably answering this in chat. Let me ask AI. There's Pawn probably on it. No. All right. Okay, so the release is the advanced estimate. So just to put this in perspective, the advanced estimate GDP data that drops this Thursday. Look at Palantir, guys. Wow. PLTR here, chat. Palantir spike, and then it retrade. Okay, never mind. I'm sorry. This was just a glitch. See, I hate these glitches sometimes. Sometimes you'll get these big glitches, but they're fake. They're rogue orders that get filled randomly at 8 a.m. This is the 8 a.m. scrum is what we call this. I thought it was a run. I looked at the other screen. I thought it was something big. But yeah, anyways, going back. So GDP dropping this Thursday is what's called the advanced estimate. This is the original estimate based on prelim data. It's the most varied. It's the most variance heavy GDP report that we get, right? So there's the advanced estimate. Following this, the next one after Thursday's, the one after that is going to be called the second estimate. It's a revised version of the original one, kind of the middle ground GDP report, middle ground of variance. And then the last one is the third or final estimate. It's the final revision using the most complete data, the least amount of variance, the most accuracy. So Thursday is the most variance heavy GDP report. It's expected at 2.5% though, which is a decrease, right? So this is the advanced estimate. That is a decrease. Last time GDP showed up at 3.1%. So coming all the way back down to 2.5% is a decrease quarter to quarter. So interesting. Let's see what happens. Yeah, all good, Pawn. No worries, bro. I've got my Grinch mug today. Look at this thing. Can y'all see it? I don't think y'all can see it. Hold on, let me fix this. Look at this thing. It's the same color as my green screen. Look at this. I guess it's pretty fitting to have the Grinch mug today. Pretty fitting, I guess. All right. How you guys doing? You guys doing good? I'm using lo-fi music money. I always use the same music. They need to test it for frequency. Yeah. I don't know if it's a market crash yet. I tried to trade one of those rogue candles. Yeah, bro. Oh, that's not really you're not going to profit from it. You're not going to be able to. Oh. The only thing I want to get, bro, I want to get one of those white screens that I can draw on and act like a genius in front of it. You know, like I'm John Madden on there, just scribble this and this and this. I want to get one of those. I just don't know how I would use it because I have a green screen, so I don't know how I'd use it, but I do want to get one of those. Yeah, there's SPY, NVIDIA. Here's the NASDAQ. Let's put the NASDAQ up. It's at 510 right now, 510. Let's see if it holds. Yeah, it's lo-fi. Yeah, so it's based off of fidelity. So like lo-fi means lower fidelity. Intentionally incorporates imperfections. Relaxed, nostalgic, raw is what, you know. It's basically calm hip hop. Or is a lot of these are just hip hop beats, really, like rap beats. What's the dollar index doing? I'm assuming it's down, right? Following the market this morning. Yeah, that's what and this is rare. A lot of the time, the dollar index, the Dixie, and the rest of the market go inverse to each other. But you know, it's down now. That's pretty predictable. Start rapping, bro. Y'all gonna have to pay more for that, sir. Top 3 rappers in the world right now. But definitely top 3 worst ever. Yeah, the market was crazy volatile yesterday, dude. Honestly, it's kind of weird how volatile the market was yesterday. Oil's down too, yeah, for sure. Buy orders in. Is it time to buy, guys? Honestly, we're still pretty 50-50 split. We're 48% think we're going to continue down out of over 600 votes. 30 minutes. 52% think we're going to come back up. Yeah, hit the like button, guys, if you haven't already. We appreciate it. Thanks so much. Yeah. Yeah, Bitcoin down under 100K. Definitely not good. Oh, never mind. Bitcoin back up to 100K. Bitcoin futures up to almost 101, but regular Bitcoin's probably sitting at what, like exactly 100? 99.4 right now on Binance CoinDesk. Showing slightly over 100. CoinMarketCap showing 100.4. Yeah, the FOMC meeting's huge, but again, we're not going to be cutting rates regardless of weakness that we see today. We're just not going to be cutting rates, right? If you look at the CME Watch tool and their predictions on everything, we're still at 97.3. Basically, 97.3. That's we're going to pause, guys. And again, we're going to pause. We're going to pause unless, we don't really have any economic data coming out in between now and the Fed meeting. So we're going to pause, right? Like that's almost inevitably what we're going to do is we're going to pause. Now, what we do the following meeting is more more variance heavy. Like we could do anything there. And let me look at the probabilities for that thing too. Hold on. All right, so they're expecting us to pause, stay at 425 to 450 basis points, which is 4.25 to 4.5%. So they expect a pause in March as well. So basically, this means a pause Wednesday and in March. This means a pause. This means that we're going to pause on Wednesday and then cut 25 in March. So everybody expects at least one rate cut in the next 3 meetings, for the most part. But anything could happen. A lot of this is going to depend on what kind of data we get coming out. Because the data is the most important thing, to be honest. Yeah, I'm sure the 10-year, let's see, is the 10-year down? Honestly, a lot of people would probably prefer the 10-year 10-year yields to be down, right? Because they're going to follow interest rates. So the 10-year going down means that maybe people are going to start getting a little bit more dovish in interest rates. Isn't this pause a continued pause all year if things remain exactly the same, even though the Fed said there would be 2 more cuts this year? Just a scenario, of course. Yeah, we don't know. Trying to predict what the Fed does in 6 months is a moot thing, man. Like, there's so much data that comes out in between now and then that trying to predict what they do, like, and I've said this before, like, I see a lot of people that base what they think the Fed is going to do. Like, an example of this is base what they think the Fed is going to do Wednesday. Like, even though it's 97+% likelihood that we're going to pause on Wednesday, some people listen to what Powell said, 4 or 5 months ago, and they use that to say, yeah, we're gonna cut rates on Wednesday. And that's a wild prediction, right? It's almost never going to happen that way. And you have to take the most recent context into your prediction. Like, if you're trying to predict what we're going to do on Wednesday, you got to take the most recent data. And what this CME Watch tool shows is the most recent data updates, right? So it's almost certain that we're going to pause Wednesday. Very, very low likelihood. We don't really have any type of economic stuff coming out in between now and then that would influence these. The only way we don't pause is if the market tanks, like dumps down, like we get like a actual market crash between now and then, and people start panicking, and that's when the Fed might say, okay, well, look, we were going to pause, but because things were so freaking weak, we're going to cut to try to save us from this weakness, get a little bit of a head start on it. That's the only scenario, and that would mean like 20+% drops in markets prior to that decision, and so that's pretty low probability as well. The point I'm trying to make, though, is Powell might say a number of different things 5, 6, 7 months ago that are wildly irrelevant for Wednesday today, because his plan is going to change so much from now to then, or from then to now, I should say, that you can't listen to what he said 8 months ago and use that to try to predict what he's going to do Wednesday. You got to listen to what he said the last Fed meeting. You know, you got to listen to what the Fed members are saying leading up to this meeting, because it's data dependent. It's all going to change depending on the data. Oh, we got almost 700 people here. Hey, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks so much. It's a crazy week, man. It's honestly a crazy week. I guess shout out to True Trading Group. They became a member again last week, so shout out to them, I guess. Best days in the market are after red days. Yeah, I mean, the biggest edge is buying dips, right? But there's a little bit more context to it. Like, I'm a dip buyer personally. I love buying dips, right? But if I'm going to buy a dip, it needs to be a big one, you know? Like, I need a 10-15% drop minimum. And if, like, an example of this is, like, there's a high chance that Nvidia is going to bounce back from this long term. And so if I'm going to buy an Nvidia dip, it would be something like, hey, I'm going to start to enter this. I'm going to DCA if it continues to drop, and then I'm going to sit on it for years. And if I do that, in that regard, it'll probably make a ton of money long term doing that, right? But there's also a chance it doesn't, and so you never want to put in enough that would, like, it's so much to where it could destroy your account. And at the same time, do not copy me. I have no freaking idea what I'm talking about. I'm certainly not an investment professional. If you copy me, you might lose. I have no idea what I'm talking about. But yeah, dip buys are usually the best option. But I do think it's time to correct a little bit. I think things are up just too much. And I think this news is relatively small for the big dips that it's causing in markets, right? I think this news is a little bit overreacted to at this point in time. But that's okay. You know, we'll see what happens. Google, let's take a look. Yeah, Google's down to 195. You got some cheap stuff right now. There's AMC. Where's GameStop at? GameStop at 27s. Dude, I'm definitely not a professional. I'm a professional marketer. All right? That's what I'm a professional. I'm a professional marketer for sure. Definitely not a professional trader. Definitely don't live off of my trading profits. I have no freaking idea what I'm talking about. Listen, guys, I genuinely have no idea what I'm talking about. Remember, I am terrible and have no idea what I'm talking about. I might be wildly wrong about anything I say. This is not professional advice. I am not a trading or market professional. This content is for entertainment purposes only. And my experiences, wins or losses in trades may not be conducted in real time or on stream. Basically, I might trade and lose off stream. Do not copy me. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Understand CFTC 4.41. Hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations, guys. I'm not an investment professional. Don't sue me, basically. You're not going to win if you do, because I got disclaimers freaking everywhere, bro. But don't do it anyway. Professional rapper? What's my rap name, guys? Let me hear it. Yeah, maybe David. I put a sizable position into a 5x long mag 7 leveraged fund. Got in basically at the bottom so far. Hey, good job, dude. DJ broke. I like it. Lil John and the Market Boys, you know. Yeah. Yeah, you and I had the same idea, Mama Pawn. The problem is I think everybody's probably too young to understand that reference, right? Like, basically, we're too old. You know, they're all too young. Old money, maybe. I don't know if it'd be young money. Yeah, I like Lil Jon and the Market Boys, you know. Or maybe the Trading Boys, but that's alright. 3G John. I love it. Alright, guys, hey. What do y'all want to do here? I'm going to trade this morning. I think we lost money Friday, didn't we? Let me see. I think we did. No, I think we actually came back and ended green on Friday. I might be wrong, though. Let me see. Yeah, we made money Friday. Okay, so we did make money. We got a couple of these accounts. I gotta look back to see. Okay. Okay, yeah, so we made money Friday, lost money Thursday. So we doing okay. Like, we're getting in some setups here. How much is this at? I'll show you guys. This is a combine account, so I guess I'll show you guys this one. We're just playing around on it right now. We're down. I like this candle wick. I'm gonna take half of it in, lock it in. Try to build up some cushion on the day, but we can add to it. Yeah, so the market's down enough to where, like, I think we have some edge after this big rebound that we might dip a little bit, but who knows, man. We already took a piece off. Let me fix this. Oof, maybe not, dude. Look at this rip up. I gotta cut this. That's a big move. So we just lost 3 on this challenge account. You don't love to see it. That's a big move. Luckily, we're up 1,600 in this thing so far, so we can handle a $300 drop. But man, you don't love to see it. No, the Super Bowl's not in my hometown. No, I am from. Yeah, it's not in. I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. They're never holding the Super Bowl in my hometown. I wish they did. That'd be cool, but I just don't think they're going to. Somehow we made all the money back, guys. Let's see. Yeah, somehow we made all the money we lost there back. 125, 225. 230, 275, 350, 400. Yeah, we made it. Somehow we are green on the day in this thing now. Yeah, it's close enough, but it's not my hometown. New Orleans is different. Like I'm from Baton Rouge, which is like an hour away from New Orleans, maybe a little bit less depending on how long it takes. A lot of similarities between where I'm from and New Orleans, though. New Orleans is just a bigger city. I'm from Baton Rouge, which is kind of like a medium-sized city. It's the capital of Louisiana. Baton Rouge is a college town, is what it is. Baton Rouge is kind of sketchy now, though, unfortunately, man. It's like my hometown, but it's gotten worse over the years. It was the murder capital a couple years ago of the entire country. So, you know, I love my hometown, but it's just so sketchy, man. All right, market's still bouncing back a lot, though. Here's the QQQ. Still heading back up after big drops. Yeah, go Tigers. John, could you help me understand why the dollar is so down? Well, the dollar is down because another country came out with a big technology advancement, is what they think, right? I'm not saying they did, but that's what they think. And so it's going to cause like pessimism in that way, you know? Man, look at this red candle coming through. Wow. That's a candle, bro. Yeah, that's a big bounce back candle too. Yes, we got over 700 here now. I think it was obvious. Yeah, I mean, they're going to compete. I mean, AI is the biggest, like one of the next big game changing technologies. And so, like, of course, like, they're going to be on it. Like, they're going to be trying to compete with us. Like, that's pretty standard and normal. A lot of ways you could look at it, but yeah. Also, guys, if you haven't already, check out Top Step. So we are basically going back and forth this morning. I'm funded on multiple accounts on Top Step. They give you a demo. They test your skill with a demo account first. This is a great way to learn day trading. Do not fund your own account thousands of dollars if you're brand new. Almost all day traders lose money. Doesn't matter what course you take, who you follow. Most day traders are going to lose. And frankly, it's a lot cheaper to try Top Step, test your skill. If you're good enough to pass it, they give you a 50K demo and they test your skill with it. If you can make 3K in profit without losing 2,000 first, following their rules and conditions, they fund you 50K with a 90% split on their base one. And so if you pass it, you get a 90% split. You get to keep your first 10K in profit. Very similar to funding your own account. 90% is pretty similar to 100%. You get to keep your first 10K in profit anyway. But if you fail, you're out $50 basically for the base one. It's not the end of the world. It's the best of both worlds. It's limited risk, decent reward, very similar to funding your own account. And so this allows you to take some risks in the beginning, learn how to trade under pressure, and you're risking something. You're just not risking the full extent of thousands and thousands of dollars. If you want to get around the PDT rule in stocks, as an example, you need 10, 20, 30 grand to do it. Crazy amount of risk for a new trader who almost always never has risk management skills. And so this is a great way to learn. In the futures market, you can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the Russell, gold, some currencies. This is the QQQ price action in futures is what I'm trading. Patterns are very similar to blue chip stocks, and there's no PDT rule. So it really is the best of both worlds. Most pro day traders trade futures because of this. And again, if you want to try it out, $49 a month for the base one. It comes with real-time data, and if you were going to pay for this outside of Top Step, or a demo account with real-time data, that is, it's going to cost about the same. So if you want to try it out, I'll put my link up. The biggest edge in funding is zero commission on Top Step X. So I can trade micro contracts, zero commission, tiny amount of fees per trade. Huge edge. And Top Step X is really nice. Top Step X, I like it because I can, like, I was on a 10-day green streak recently. On that 10-day green streak, on my actual funded account, right? With that 10-day green streak, I had this habit of, I would trade, go on this huge green streak, and then I was so desperate to keep the green streak alive, I would take like crazy amounts of risk after like a huge green streak, and I would just give it all back, right? Top Step has this personal daily loss limit. And so I could say, hey, I can't lose more than $200 when I'm on these big green streaks, that is. And that way, if I lose over $200, it liquidates and blocks the account. So I can't trade anymore that day. That way I retain the profits from the green streak and I don't let my emotion, like psychology, get in the way, if that makes sense. Just a lot of really cool features for traders. And if you want to check it out, they are an affiliate of mine. I am biased for sure in their favor because I get paid by them. But if you want to check it out, here's the link. Great way to help support your boy here in this channel. Great way to learn how to day trade with less risk than risking 20-30 grand in your own account, to be honest. So again, I'll put the link up here in the chat if you want to check it out. You can also find it in the description. I'm biased. They pay me money. You want to confirm it all with them first, guys. Then yeah. SoFi is good. Is SoFi bouncing back yet? I know it was down this morning after good EPS, good revenue. Still down. Down to $15 a share. Yeah, the lockout feature is super nice. What does futures mean? So futures created a while back to allow farmers to lock in contracts for their yields. Farmers would grow crops. Say you're growing corn. But every time you grow crops, there's a lag between when you start to grow them and when you yield them in terms of the price that you're going to get for it. And so sometimes, you know, farmers would grow crops on specific margins, and then by the time it came to yield those crops, the margins had changed and they weren't as profitable as they wanted. And so they started selling speculative contracts to investors, locking in the price of their yields ahead of time. And they called them futures contracts because they were betting on the future price of a commodity. Eventually, the futures market grew from specifically that to where it's at now, where you can trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the Russell, gold, all these different things in the futures market. There's no PDT rule, so it gets you around the PDT rule. Yeah, and so that's where the futures market is now. And so it kind of grew from that need. Yeah, that's what they are. That's why it's called futures. Yeah. Meta? Where's Meta at? Is Meta down this morning too? Oh, I'm definitely biased. Top 3 worst trader ever. Don't copy me. I try to buy big dips. Small dips are just not really like the, you know, when I try to buy dips, I try to buy the dippiest dips I can, you know. They've got to be dippy for sure. Top 3, some would say. No. But no, when I buy pullbacks, they need to be large enough to justify it. Like I need to have value in the pullback. If it's a small pullback, there's a likelihood it's going to keep on dropping, and I'd rather get the best average I can. That's why, like, I want a 10% plus drop if I'm going to buy something like that. Yeah, everything's down. How do you use volume in trading? Well, volume, you use it. You compare it to the average volume and use that to get some influence over things, but it depends. The VIX is something we should all be looking at. I'm sure the VIX is popping today. Yeah, look at the VIX this morning. VIX gauges volatility. It's up big, meaning the market's much more volatile this morning, and you can kind of see it relative to the last month or so. The VIX at one point was the highest it's been since the election stuff. So over 20 today on the VIX. The Fed meeting's Wednesday. Yeah, so the Fed meeting's Wednesday. Still 51% think we're going to bounce back. 49% think we don't. We trade a mix of stocks and futures. So do you trade? No, I use volume for sure. I use volume. I use a mix of volume. I like to use the 200 exponential. I use the volume weighted average price. I can see what volume is like just based off of the candlesticks a lot of the time. But I also use regular volume too. Like y'all just can't see a lot of it because I've got a 49-inch ultra wide monitor on the bottom that y'all can't see that I'm looking at. Most of the charts I'm trading, I've got another chart set up that I'm analyzing it on. I just don't have enough space for you to see it on the main chart that y'all see right now. Yeah, we'll see what Big Papa Powell says. That's a big thing, man. The FOMC meeting this week's big. I would just be careful, guys. We don't know what's going to happen. We really don't. All right, so we had this guy that broke into DeepSeek's R1. So the DeepSeek's AI innovations are freaking people out this morning regarding NVIDIA and other microchip stocks. They say it's threatening NVIDIA's $2 trillion market cap. So right now, training top AI models is incredibly expensive. So this is where all this is coming from, right? Right now, training like the best AI models is incredibly expensive to do. OpenAI and a bunch of other companies spend hundreds of millions of dollars just on computing it. They need a big old massive lot of data centers with thousands of $40K, $50,000 plus GPUs. You essentially need like a power plant to run these things. DeepSeek, which is again a Chinese company, showed up and they basically said, let's try to do this for cheap, right? Like what if we could do this for millions? For only a couple million is basically what they said, and they did it. Their models match or beat GPT-4 according to some people. Again, I can't confirm this, but according to some people, they beat GPT-4 and Claude on a bunch of different tasks. The AI world is freaking out because of it. It is essentially why things are down big. The big question is how. According to them, they rethought everything from the ground up. Traditional AI is like writing every number with 32 decimal places. They were like, hey, what if we just used 8? Is it still accurate enough? But they use so much less memory to do it. Their multi-token system is another aspect of it. Normal AI reads at a very elementary level. DeepSeek reads and whole phrases at once 2 times faster and 90% is accurate. So they lose some accuracy, but they do it so much quicker is what helped them do this. And so when you're processing billions or trillions of words, this is important, right? This is important. They built an expert system instead of one big AI trying to know everything. They have specialized experts that only wake up when they need them. All 1.8 trillion parameters are active all the time. 671 billion total, but only 37 billion active at once. The results are crazy. Training costs go from 100 million to under 5. GPUs needed go from 100,000 to only about 2,000. API costs are 95% plus cheaper, and they can run on gaming GPUs instead of data center hardware. It's all open source, they say as well. And so this is what's freaking everybody out, right? This is what's freaking everybody out. And the implications of this are massive, right? The implications of this are massive. The implications are that basically that our current U.S. microchip companies are wasting dollars on doing things the wrong way, in the wrong order, where they could be spending it on expansion. Now they're wasting it on data centers and all this different stuff. So that's the big implication here. I'm not saying I agree with this. This is somebody that I just used somebody's Twitter post, Morgan Brown on X. Had a breakdown of it is what I'm looking at right now. It got millions of views. He was breaking it down. I kind of read his update there. And that's basically what they're saying. Cheaper, more efficient. So do we have access to DeepSeek? Let's try it. Is it bad for crypto miners? No, if anything, it's probably good. Yeah, I'm not sure. Taker. I could try my order here. My orders are getting filled pretty reasonably, I think. So we just got in an order here. Oh, crap. This is a funded account. Oh, my gosh, dude. Stupid. Oh. I just took a trade on a funded account. Sheesh, bro. Oh, man. I could have made more on it, too. I would have made more if I would have just held it. Luckily, we got out basically completely flat here. I was trying to test the combine here, dude, and I ended up buying a funded account one, man. Ridiculous. Sheesh, bro. Here, we just made about $300. Look, I'm going to go ahead and cut this here. I should have held it, dude. If I would have held that, I would have made $300 quick right there. But it's all good. My fails aren't bad. It might be on your end. Yeah, it might. I'm not sure what's going on with you, bro. Get the DOM out the way. I don't really like getting filled on the DOM anyway. I usually just mark it in and out. The fills are close enough for me. Yeah, Pawn hit me with the slap. I said, if I ever trade pre-market, slap me. Pawn hit me with the Chappelle Show slap. Solid information? Yeah, all good, man. Again, confirm it all with them. I don't freaking know. Yeah, so we're up about 326 on the day. Roughly 326 buying these dips. I guess I'll show you me trying to pass it this morning. But yeah, what a crazy day, man. The DeepSeek updates. Interesting, for sure. There's the VIX doing craziness. Here's NVIDIA. I think we got to watch NVIDIA closely here, too. The question is this an overreaction? I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, so there is some tariff news. Again, I'm kind of skeptical about all the big data coming out this week too, man. This is a volatile start to the week, or one of the biggest like data weeks that we've seen in a long time. It's a big start to it, man. We took half off there, locked in something here. We got a little cushion that we can play with now. I don't really like that. I gotta cut it. We're still green on the day. Yeah, so there have been some recent developments, such as the threat of imposing tariffs on Colombia. They say the issues have been resolved and are not contributing to today's market decline, according to AI. Yeah. So, interesting. I'm going to short this too, see if I can jump in. This is a combine account, guys, just to clarify, just for clarification. So we tap lows. I'd like to see a little bit more of a drop. Took half off there, made a small little gain, took another piece off there, lock it in, maybe add to it if we get big dips. There we go, add to that. Now we're right at the bottom here. I'll cut that there too. All right, so far so good. Trading this thing at least. I'm still short. I could have held it. I'll add a little bit onto the pot, but we're not going to hold more than 2. Give it 1 second to break down here. It's a big support level, but I'm not super like... We got a cushion that we can swing. There we go. I'm going to immediately take half off there so I don't lose too much here if it goes against me. Kind of limiting my risk. I'm gonna cut this here too. So we lost $100. It could have been a lot worse. It might continue down. I just don't like the risk reward on this one right now. We are in an uptrend. I don't want to short the uptrend. It's still up hundreds. Well, the reason I was shorting this specifically here is we have this big extension line between the 200 exponential, which I think is a natural pivot point, versus where we're at now. We've got a lot of resistance and extension above us at these levels here, and so I can have a small risk trade and a large reward trade down here. So risk reward being decent is okay. It's one of the reasons I'm jumping in there, as well as like I think we could correct to the downside, but the reason I cut it is because momentum changes factored in there. I just didn't like it. There's too much momentum on the upside. I don't want to get stuck in that, and so that's why I cut it there. So far it was the right decision, but who knows. But most of the time it's based off of risk reward, and we're up on the day. Like, we're up hundreds on the day already. I mean, at the same time though, this is a combine account, so we're gonna trade a lot looser on this thing than we are an actual funded account. We got multiple funded accounts. This is a combine account, so it's not. We're gonna trade much more risk, a lot less risk averse, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So we're right at this resistance level. I'll try to short it. My issue with these, I try to speed past these things too much. So we'll short. If we reject, we'll add to it. If not, we'll take our little risk. Risk level is up here at 1160. Reward target's really down here at about 1100. And if it continues down, we'll add to it, is the plan so far. But don't copy me. Not an investment professional. Do not copy me. Don't listen to Tim. All right, so we got a little bit of confirmation, but we'll see if we hold down underneath this level. No, I'm just kind of scalping right now. Whoever asked that, PP. Yeah, we got a good risk reward. It's 2-to-1 here. And if we do start to give it back, that's good. I think the longer term direction is down as well. But this one's not looking the best. Yeah, we're gonna have to cut it. It's all right. We're still pretty much flat on the day. Getting stuck in the pre-market chop. Yeah, no, for sure. Those are good, JG, 100%. Don't copy me. Please don't copy me. I'm sorry, Tim. I don't mean to put you in timeout. I just don't want you telling people to copy me, bro. Against the rules here. I certainly don't want people to copy me. So we did confirm off of my resistance level. I probably should have given it a little bit more room. Yeah, you're just in timeout. You're not banned. You're just in timeout. I gotta just leave these levels. See, we did follow my level there to a T. Look at that. Too choppy right now, though. I just gotta sit back. Yeah, DeepSeek, AI dominance questions is what's causing the market. Again, if you're just now tuning in, if you want to know why, we should have shorted it. Look, we just hit my stop level. If you're wondering why the market's down significantly today, it's because DeepSeek essentially, what they're saying is that they built a cheaper, more efficient AI system than we have in the US that costs 50x less than they do, than our systems. And it's more efficient and more accurate, they say. So, curious to see where we head here, but that's the story of the day so far. Go. All right, we basically just made our money back, which is good. We got in here because the resistance level was right there and we were looking to fill this gap, which we kind of did. You can just check out their look, again, they're an affiliate of mine. I'm biased. Check with them. There's a facts page on their site. Confirm everything with them. Not an investment professional. I'm biased. They're an affiliate of mine. So I'm definitely biased. Confirm it all with them. I can't guarantee anything. There's the link right there if you want to check out the facts page, though. Yeah, so we're still up decent on the day. Going back and forth though. Yeah, we're very choppy right now though, guys. Like, look at the market. Here's the levels that I like, but market's basically just going like this. You know, that's basically what the market's doing. All right, guys. Market's choppy. Still down pretty significantly. Yeah, man. Again, I've been telling people for months I think we're going to correct sometime in the next year or two. I can't be precise with it. I just think that based off of how much the market is up, the market's vulnerable for a big correction if we get some news. Like, I think you got to think about like 2000.com crash and like how that was driven. And I think AI is susceptible to stuff like that now just because it's up so much. It doesn't mean it has to happen. And of course, bullish traders that are extended in positions are going to get mad at me for even suggesting that could happen. I don't really know either way, right? Like, I genuinely don't know. Nothing's guaranteed. All we can really do is sit tight and wait. But for me, I haven't really been adding up a big portfolio over the last few months. I just don't trust the market enough in that regard to do so. I think market kind of needs a correction. We typically get a big correction every 20, 30 years. And for me, I'm just waiting. Maybe this dip buy is good. Maybe it continues down. You know, nobody really knows. And the market can certainly continue running, right? The market could certainly just keep on running big on the upside. That's very possible as well, right? Nothing's guaranteed, and it's not predictable in that regard. But I guess the point is nobody on the upside or downside knows. Bulls who are extended in positions are going to act like everything's fine, not to panic. Bears that are extended in their positions are going to act like it's the end of the world scenario. You know, it's the end of the world, doom and gloom. The truth is probably somewhere in the middle, and it's yet to be seen. Markets are reacting pretty big to this news, but the overall implications for the rest of the AI and microchip sector, you know, we still got to wait to see that. Yeah, so I'm looking at yeah, look at the market coming back up to the top of the range. I don't know which direction. See, this is one of the things where the market's so sideways. I really genuinely don't know which way it's going to go, which way I want it to go. What are the chances that the information about the cost of training that AI model is true? Hey, thank you, Kay, for the donation, brother. I appreciate it. I mean, there's a good chance it's true, right? Like with AI, we're gonna keep looking at efficiency, and it's very plausible that they dug deeper into that efficiency and they found something they like in that way. So it's possible. We just got to try to be as objective as we can. It's a difficult thing to do. All right, so we're starting to head up. I was trying to attack this support or resistance line, but we got a big rejection here. I'll add to it, see if we can come back down. Okay, yep. Well, there goes all the money. Huge green candle. Let me see if there's a reason for it. UBS has reportedly cut hundreds of jobs in Switzerland as part of the latest redundancies around, according to Bloomberg. It's a big move here. That's a big move. Let me see if we got any other movement in Bitcoin, crypto, other markets. We'll give it a chance. Looks like that was just a liquidity grab up there, though. Bitcoin with a big dip. Bitcoin sitting at just at 100K. We'll see if it holds. Yeah, that was just a liquidity grab, and we're still kind of sideways. The market might be indecisive right now. Well, it looks like this last move was just a liquidity grab. What a drop. Pfizer had to pay 60 million shopping on Amazon versus Temu. Maybe. Dude, my son is like he never does, he's so slow in the morning to do everything. My daughter has like OCD for being on time, and my son is just lagging every morning, bro. I get it. Especially if it's Monday. Mondays, for whatever reason, he's just slow. Market coming all the way back down. So look at that liquidity grab up there. So if we look at the SPY here, I guess it's the NASDAQ here, right? Something bad happened. Look at these drops, dude. %, truth. We don't know. We don't know if it's true or not. You know, all we can really do is just kind of chill and wait and see if we could find something better. But I can't even create an account on DeepSeek. All right, guys, we got less than 20 minutes until the opening bell. We're gonna get ready to trade. Let me see if I can build some levels. We ended up losing that Combine account, but it was a challenge account, so we'll have to just figure out what we want to do. I've already got 3 funded accounts. I think I'm just going to start focusing on them and just go with my original system where I don't push too heavy in pre-market. We got a big support level here. Might be actually like right there. And we got a range. I don't really see anything else around this spot that I like. None of that looks very good. Let's look back a little bit deeper here. I guess we can give that angle there too. We're a little bit lower now though. All right. We got some levels to watch. AMD shouldn't be down. Oh, it's bad for microchips is what they're implying. Yeah, it's all semiconductors. Semiconductors are taking a hit from all of this. US-based semiconductors, that is, like AMD, NVIDIA, MU. You know what I mean? It's like anything related to semiconductors. Supermicro is down to 30. What else? Right, there's a bunch of AI-driven stocks. All AI stocks is what it is. Like ABGO, Broadcom, down big. You know, like these are all down pretty significantly. The news is that DeepSeek, which is an AI company overseas in China, has created a more efficient way to build AI models based around cheaper, more efficient is what they're claiming. More efficient is what they're claiming. Yeah, so DeepSeek has unveiled its AI model R1, sparking global market disruption. The R1 model reportedly rivals existing high-performance AI systems while being developed at only a fraction of the cost. Their breakthrough could undercut the demand for big and expensive AI chips from companies like NVIDIA, Broadcom, and ASML. These hardware makers rely heavily on the demand from these AI researchers and cloud providers, and the news has, triggered a lot of big sell-offs in U.S. microchip stocks. So that is basically where we are at now. Very choppy price action today, though, guys. Very choppy. We'll see if we can build some profit today. But NASDAQ 100 down big. Analyst predicts DeepSeek's cost-efficient innovation could pressure Western companies to accelerate advancements or reduce production costs to maintain competitiveness. That's where we're at. Yeah, I mean, AI is certainly not a scam. I think that comes from a lack of understanding about what AI really is. Now, you can think that our current language models are not the most efficient, but calling them a scam is silly. AI is the implications of AI around the world are very, very, very self-evident, right? Like, it's very clear that AI is going to disrupt everything and has disrupted everything. In terms of querying anything, getting data from anything, resourcing things, programming, implications are massive, right? Like, there's just calling the whole thing a scam is silly, I think. I had so many people who, 3-4 years ago, when I told people, I was like, hey, AI is going to be the next big thing. They called it buzzwords, they called it a scam, and then markets flew from it, right? And I think some of those people that predicted that, they might have a little bit of confirmation bias in terms of, like, they want the AI market to be a scam so that they can prove it right, because a lot of them missed out on the crazy bull run that we got from it. But it doesn't mean it's a scam. Now, this might shake markets and cause different things to happen in terms of who leads that AI race. And I think that's something to watch for sure, especially this week with the gang of economic data that we have. We have the Fomc meeting, GDP data, PCE data, Tesla, Apple, Microsoft, earnings, and more, right? So we got a whole bunch of earnings this week. Meta earnings also. But yeah. No, not you, Tony. Somebody else did. I think it was Kevin. Kevin said AI is a scam. It's just microchips. Right. The internet's a scam, bro. It's just computers. Silly comment. Amazon's a scam, bro. It's just books, bro. Yeah, everything's a scam until it's not. 100%. Yeah, we're really choppy, guys. I'm just gonna sit tight. I like books. Books are cool. Yeah. Books are a scam. It's just paper, you know. Gold's a scam, bro. It's just a shiny rock, you know. Stock market's a scam, bro. It's just finance, bros. Give me your best scam thing. Diamonds kind of are a scam, to be honest. The price of diamonds is just publicly propped up, or is just propped up. I mean, the price of diamonds is just artificially inflated consistently by the companies that own them. They're not actually as rare as they make them out to be, and they're just, that kind of is a little sleazy, you know. Taxes are definitely a scam, bro. Yeah, what a crazy day today, guys. What a crazy day. Get ready to trade. Chiefs are a scam. I'm rooting for Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, bro. I want Jalen Hurts and the Eagles to win. Look, Patrick Mahomes have won enough Super Bowls, bro. He has, dude. The Chiefs have won enough, dude. Aren't people bored with the Chiefs? Like, yeah, they made a bunch of money. Now they're doing great. They've got a great team. Patrick Mahomes, you know, woohoo. His cringy brother and girlfriend or wife or whomever, you know. Let's like move on from that. Like, go Jalen Hurts, bro. Let's let Jalen Hurts win. Cylinder scheme. I like it. I'm about to be a blue belt, bro. I take my blue belt exam this week. You know, I'm kind of nervous for it. Because as a white belt in jiu-jitsu, everybody underestimates you. And so then, like, if you roll with a blue belt, you know, they're going to underestimate your skill. So you can catch them by surprise. Once you get a blue belt, that white belt niceness goes away. And nobody's easy on you anymore. And then, like, I know when I roll against a blue belt, if I roll against another white belt, I'm going to be like, hey, how much experience do you have? If he's brand new, I'm really nice and easy. If he has 6 months or more experience, I'm just going to train. I'm just going to roll with him. Because, you know, I'm a white belt too, and you don't get any mercy from me if you've got 6 months or more experience. If I see a blue belt, it's no mercy. I'm going to try to tap them out as much as I can because they're technically a higher belt than I am. And that's why I'm nervous about getting my own blue belt, is because no mercy. The white belt mercy ends. All right, guys, look at this bounce right off of 1127s here on the NQ. I should have taken that risk reward trade. It would have worked. If you get tapped by an experienced white belt, so what? Yeah, no, for sure. There's a couple white belts I get tapped to. It just depends. I would say I do pretty well against most of the other white belts at the gym. But I definitely get tapped. There's a couple. One of my main friends and trading partners in jiu-jitsu is a guy named Drew. He's freaking good. This dude. He comes from judo. And he's really like purple belt level. If I roll with him, I get messed up. He's a little bit bigger than me, but not big enough to where, like, he's just better. You know, he's just better. Too much karate talk. Yeah, I wanted the Bills too, bro. I want Josh Allen. Again, guys, what do y'all want me to talk about? The market's completely flat and sideways, bro. I've been talking about the market all day. Like, the market's sideways and boring right now. I can't really do anything. I'm waiting 15 minutes for the market to open. Don't judge me. All right? If I want to talk about jiu-jitsu, y'all are like my therapist here. I need it. Who's your favorite MMA fighter? I don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite necessarily. Sean O'Malley's fun to watch. Just in terms of like his skill. I think he's a little cringy, but he's fun to watch. Yeah. I mean, Makhachev's fun to watch. Yeah, Ilya's pretty good right now. All right, look, we'll break it down under the support level. I train like Muay Thai occasionally and like spar in Muay Thai, like maybe like once every like couple weeks. Like sometimes we'll train jiu-jitsu and then we'll throw the gloves on and spar a little bit and like horse around in Muay Thai, but it's not something I train like a lot. I would rather see Conor fight a real MMA fighter than do the gimmicky. Like, people haven't learned that all the Jake Paul, Logan Paul fights are essentially like the most boring things you can watch. Like, they've got huge, heavy gloves on. They've got pillows as gloves. Jake Paul's obviously on steroids, right? And it's just kind of gimmicky, money grab nonsense. And so I think the only way to make it stop is to stop watching it. And I think that's a hard thing for most people to do. I would rather see Conor fight an actual MMA fighter in MMA than do a money grab boxing fight with one of the Paul brothers. Implications of the president demanding low inflation. He demanded lower rates as well, which are kind of like contrarian. You know, they kind of, they're inverse to each other. I mean, it's not that easy, right? Like, I can say, hey, I demand $1 billion, right? But does that mean I'm going to get $1 billion? No, it doesn't, unfortunately. It's just not that easy. I wish it was, but it's just not. All right, so we're rebounding back up here. We're still in this choppy range. I got to wait. We got 15 minutes. He demanded low rates and wants a stronger dollar. Is that very likely to happen? I mean, eventually we're going to get lower rates. I think we're going to cut. I think we're going to get lower rates than higher rates this year, unless we get some like really strong inflation data. Yeah, so we basically went down a lot this morning, and now we're kind of chopping down. We're not really moving much at all anymore. We've been choppy for the last few hours now. So we just got to wait for the market to wake up after the opening bell. That's what I'm doing. We got 15 minutes. We'll see if we get anything good. I wonder if this move is more about a Fed leak than AI. No, that's silly. This move is about AI. All the AI stocks are what's dragging the market down. If you look at what's bringing the NASDAQ or the S&P down, it's mostly NVIDIA, AMD, MU, Supermicro. Like all the big drops are in AI stocks. You know, the Fed is almost certainly going to pause rates. Like, even if that was leaked and they found out that we're going to pause rates on Wednesday, that's not really a surprising thing. That's overwhelmingly expected. If it was like 40-60 or 55-45 and it leaked, that would be different, right? That would be bigger implications. But if it's 97, 98, 99% likely that we're going to pause, and then a pause decision is leaked, it's probably not going to move markets at all, because everybody already overwhelmingly expects that. Yeah, well, that's like saying Marab. Marab is a beast, man. He threw Umar around. Amazon down 3.5%. Yeah, well, most tech. I mean, listen, most tech stocks are going to have sympathy movements with AI. All right, how do we see this? Like, look. All right, so here's NVIDIA. Zooming out, NVIDIA's down big on the left, right? All the other major tech stocks, Meta, down, right? Google, down. There's what's called sympathy movement, which means that, like, big tech is going to influence big tech. We got AMD down, MU down. Microsoft, I'm sure, is down. Yeah. Amazon, I'm sure, is down. Like the Mag 7 is going to influence the Mag 7, and sympathy is what it's called. Not a shock, not a crazy surprise here. I like Francis, but I think he made a dumb decision. I like Francis, but I think he made a dumb decision. And I think, like him leaving the UFC the way he did, and then getting knocked out his next boxing fight, I think he just made a dumb decision. He might have made enough money to justify it. I don't know how much he netted on all that. But I think if he would have kept fighting, I think part of it is John Jones did not want to fight Francis at all. All right, there goes market. Keep going down. Why would gold go down today? Well, gold follows macro movement most of the time. And so, like, gold's mostly just going to follow, like, markets in general on a longer term perspective. Shorter term, it can be influenced in different ways, but longer term, it follows markets a lot of the time. All right, chat. Hey, we got 10 minutes. 10 minutes. You guys ready? Minutes, chat. Tesla earnings this week. Are y'all bullish or bearish on that? Hey, bud. How you doing today, man? Love you guys. All right. My kids are leaving for school. Yeah, nobody knows if we're going up, down, or sideways. Least of all, John at Beginner Trading. I love the chat. Kind of. Y'all are my internet friends, okay? I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. All right, 9 minutes. 9 minutes left. Yeah, market's so flat and sideways, I can't really bet on a trend. Like, we went down to that 200 exponential. If you guys heard that short idea that I had up here where I said, hey, I'm going to short. We got a good risk reward coming down to the 200 exponential down here. That worked. I should have taken it, but I just didn't. Again, the rule I have in pre-market is I'll trade like a challenge account horsing around, but I'm not going to trade my funded accounts in pre-market, regardless of how good my thesis is there. So I just got to stick with that trade, you know, that trading plan and that trade idea. All right. Yeah. What do you guys think for Tesla? Maybe it saves Tesla earnings. I like to listen to John talk about karate. Oh, karate is one of the more useless. I mean, it's not useless, right? Like, karate can be good, but real world application, boxing's much more superior. Muay Thai much more superior than karate. Karate is kind of gimmicky. There's some karates that are good, but a lot of them are nonsense. You can have a black belt in karate in like 2 years. It's just mostly money grab. Jiu-jitsu is different. To get a black belt in jiu-jitsu, it takes over a decade. I'm about to get my blue belt. It took me 2 years basically to do it. And it's something that takes a long time. They don't just give you belts because you keep paying them, you know. Do you think we bounce from here? I have no idea. I think we're extended on the downside, and it's plausible that we do. But with all the economic data coming out this week, I think that's going to influence it. I'm just going to wait and see what happens with the economics. Yeah, with all the craziness this morning, the opening bell might be crazy. Taekwondo can be useful. It just depends. Like, you had fighters like Anthony Pettis, who did a lot of Taekwondo and his stuff. Kung Fu's nonsense for the most part. Aikido's nonsense. Taekwondo can be useful if you mix it with other martial arts. Muay Thai is like really offensive striking. Leg kicks. Great for self-defense because a hard leg kick will really discourage somebody from wanting to fight you, I think. Jiu-Jitsu is great. As long as it's just one person. If it's multiple people, best is probably Muay Thai, boxing maybe. Boxing is honestly one of the most efficient, like, best martial arts in the world. If you can get good at boxing, you can handle yourself pretty easily, you know. So it just depends. With that said, I'm one of the top 3 worst boxers ever. I'm going to wait at least 5-10 minutes into the opening bell passes before I try to trade. I just think we could get heavy volatility. Again, looking at the VIX. VIX is up a lot, and it's going up more leading into the opening bell in 5 minutes. So I would just be careful. Is that an Eminem-esque rap, Sam? Is that what it is, bro? No, so DeepSeek, I don't think they're using NVIDIA chips. If they are, the whole point that DeepSeek had is that they found a more efficient way to create a decent, effective, and accurate model for AI. They say they found a 10x cheaper way to do it versus what we've been doing here in the US, which would mean big implications towards microchip US stocks like NVIDIA, AMD, MU, AVGO, Meta, Microsoft. Anything that's related to AI or tech right now is negatively reacted to. Fed Watch Tool says we're going to pause next meeting on Wednesday. All right, guys. We got about 4.5 or 3.5 minutes. Chuck Norris is great. I used to love the movie Sidekick as a kid. As I got older, I realized how bad the movie was, but I used to love that movie. Market will realize that better software doesn't mean we still need the hardware. Well, yeah, that's why the market's down today. They basically realized that they could have good software without the need for expensive hardware, for sure. All right, guys, you guys ready? We're almost here. Market's almost open. Market's the Nasdaq's right at the 200 exponential. So again, I'm sitting tight waiting here. We rebounded a little bit off of it. Oh, interesting, Sam. Yeah, Nvidia's not going to go to zero. Market would be a disaster if it did. And I just don't think that'll ever happen. By the dip. Yeah, we got 2 minutes left, chat. 2 minutes. Really about 1.5. You guys ready? I'm ready. Again, if we're going to be day trading on Top Step's funded account program today, we have a funded account here. They give you a demo. They test your skill with a demo account first. If you pass the test, they fund you. If you fail, you only lose what you pay for it. The base one's $50 basically. If you pass it, you get a $50K funded account, 90% split. If you fail, you're out $50. You also get to keep your first 10K in profit once you're funded. It really teaches you how to trade because you're risking something, but you're not risking thousands like you would be funding your own account and losing that. Most day traders lose. It's a lot cheaper to try this out. If you pass it, very similar reward, 90% split, first 10K. If you fail, you're out $50. Not the end of the world. You know, great way to learn how to day trade. And again, they paid out almost $200 million since 2020. They fund thousands of traders. In the futures market, you can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the Russell, gold, some currencies. Very similar to day trading stocks. Just no PDT rule. You know, and frankly, this is a lot cheaper to learn. Great way to learn. You know, you're risking something, just not the full amount. And again, I'll put the link up. They are an affiliate or sponsor of mine. I'm biased. Always do your own assessment, trade responsibly, and confirm everything with them. Understand CFTC 4.41. Hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations. Guys, here's the opening bell. Let's do this. There's the bell. We're going to wait at least 5 minutes for the market to do something. And the big edge on Top Step X is that there's no commissions. That's the powerful edge. I can trade these little micro contracts. All right, look at this rip. Look at this big move here. Wow. What a open. Wow, what a crazy candle. Wow, dude, look at this candle, guys. I still gotta wait. It's a big green candle, but I still gotta wait. Look at the VIX go back down on this upward pressure. Yeah, what a crazy move. Look at that candle, bro. Craziness. That's a crazy candle, guys. It's one of the largest two candles I've seen back to back in a long time. It's probably one of the largest candles we've seen in days, if not longer. Sheesh. All right, we're 3 minutes into the open, basically. Yeah, I don't know what he's trying to say there. Yeah, join our Discord. It's completely free. Doesn't cost anything. What a move. All right, there's 3 minutes into the open, chat. 3 minutes. I'd say one of the top 3 biggest candles ever. We went up to my resistance level too at 274s. I feel like we might give some of this back and fill some of this gap down. That's just such a big candle. We're gonna buy this dip. It's too cheap for me. All right, we just made $40, you know, $30, $40. Had to take it. So far, so good. That's a nice start to the day, though. What a crazy big candle, though. Look at that retracement. My support and resistance level worked really well, too. I'm shorting this. It's kind of a crazy thing to do, but I think we've got more downside than upside. But who knows? If I'm wrong, I'm definitely wrong. All right, so we just made another 15, 20 bucks. Reading it well so far. You know, up nicely here. My levels have been confirming really nicely too. Look at that. Yeah, Apple flying up. 227s. Yeah, Apple rip it up. I'm looking at Nvidia. It's up a little bit this morning. Google up. Amazon up. Meta up. Microsoft up a little bit. Tesla up. Not up on the day, but they're up since the opening bell. Tesla fighting 400s. Believe in your levels. Honestly, they confirmed really nicely. Like, look at these two levels. I drew these levels well before this price action. And look at that. We rejected the top, pulled back to the bottom. Literally exactly, you know, almost exactly at my levels. I gotta trust them. Looks a little weak now, though, man. I gotta be honest. I'm gonna short this again. I'm gonna just cut that there too, just because we got a quick little couple bucks. See if we can find another edge. I feel like I'm watching a lot of retracements now on the downside. Yeah, and look, there we go. So here's the level again. I don't like the second test of it though, to be honest, but maybe. Look at that, right off my level here. Yeah, that 200 level's big. Yeah, the name of the game with stuff like this is really looking at all the other blue chips out there and trying to gauge the future direction of it. So I look at like Tesla, Apple, Nvidia as my big ones. But there's a lot of them that you could look at. Meta, Microsoft, like you got to see big moves in all of them. Meta's turning around though. Apple's still ripping up. That's kind of one of the ones that's dragging the market up. But we are kind of choppy right now, chat, so just be careful. Short again. We jumped out of that quick. Another small gain. No losses since the opening bell yet. We're just trying to build up a good cushion that we can take larger risks on this account. Apple's starting to turn too. Actually, I'm going to jump in short and maybe add to this one now. What a retracement here. I'm not going to add to this one anymore. Okay, I might add to it now. Oh, no. I don't want to get stuck in a run, too, here. All right, we're out. We're kind of flat on the day now. I got out of that, but I just don't like the upside now. That was a quick retracement back up. Tesla is what it is. Tesla up to 402s. See if Apple starts to run. Apple's dipping down a little bit. Let's see what else we can throw up on the chart. Yeah, this is Tesla. Tesla riding high up to 402s. Nvidia still looking a little weak though. I'm gonna bet on my level here and then maybe add to it. See if there's a liquidity grab, hopefully. I'm gonna add to this or just take it off there. I just didn't like it there. See if we can maybe catch a longer term trade here. We're still kind of flat on the day, which is all right. Yeah, we're gonna get out there. VIX is starting to head back down, which is good. Another better wrap. Yeah, we're still early on the day. Yeah, we're right on this account on the day. We're still green on the account total though. Apple's starting to run here, chat. So I'm gonna buy this dip at my level here and then maybe take 2 contracts into it. All right, so we got 2 contracts here. Again, Apple looks strong up here, but I gotta be careful too. I'm trying to trade small today. I'm not really trading super large. Definitely a volatile day to trade, but it's all right. And we took half off there just to get out because we got out close to break even enough after a big dip, but see if we can fight our way back here. Apple just broke highs. I'm gonna add to this. All right, took half off. Go ahead and get out the rest there. Locked in about $40, so I'll take it. It's good enough. Apple's still ripping up, breaking highs. We'll try it. I think we're just gonna go 1 contract here just because the volatility is kind of crazy today, man. It looks like we get runs and then we reject big on candles. So it's pretty flat day overall for us, but just such big moves. Yeah, I'm trading 1 micro contract here, trying to trade small based off of the volatility today, but man, just a lot of crazy moves. I think I'll let it calm down a little bit. I like Top Step X better. There's better limits that you can trade on it, if that makes sense. Yeah, I'm not sure, Tiffany. We'll see. It looks strong right now. Like Tesla's pushing up towards highs. Apple's pulling back after breaking highs. Meta's right at the middle range, and so it looks like we're going to go up, to be honest. But I have no idea. Don't copy me. I'm not an investment professional. I have no freaking idea what I'm talking about. And I think we're probably just reacting to the extension of some of these moves, but who knows? Tesla just had a big retracement under 400, but let's see if it holds. Yeah, I'm not sure, just for fun. Yeah, where did Verizon go? I know they had earnings. Verizon's ripping up. All right, so we're gonna have to pivot to like longer term trades now. Scalping's too difficult on this price action. Apple with a big retracement back up though. Tesla testing tops too. Amazon is as well. This all looks strong. We're a little high for me to buy it though. Yeah, Nvidia's trying, but Nvidia's right at the middle range. It is over the 200 exponential, which is an optimistic look, and the volume weighted average price. So like we're over some levels here. We just gotta sit tight though for me. Yeah, and there's the strength that we were talking about. It looks strong. Like Tesla's testing tops. Nvidia's over the 200 exponential. Amazon's over it too. Apple just broke highs and is now getting like a decent pullback afterwards. But it's still a little too high for me to attack. I gotta just sit tight and wait. Yeah, I mean, so this is one of the things you got to understand about markets a lot of the time. If overnight we gap down like this, the edge is going to be on the upside more so than the downside the next morning, just from profit taking, like dip buys, all that good stuff. Same thing, if we open up like this overnight, the likelihood is we're going to drop after the opening bell. People always like tend to follow like, oh, if we're down, they think we're going to continue down after the open, or if we're up, we're going to continue up after the open. But it's actually the opposite more so than it's not. Anything could happen. There's always outliers, and this is just a generalization of it, but that's usually how it behaves. I'm watching Nvidia though. Nvidia at 127s. And Nvidia's got some big money behind it too. Here goes Nvidia 127s. VIX is still decreasing, which is good. I'm going to short this now. It's kind of risky, but we'll take a couple positions here and we'll look for a much longer term short. We want to drop all the way down here now, but it's a little risky for what we want, and what we get is different. We gotta watch Nvidia closely here too. Yeah, I don't like that at all. It's just going up too much. Yeah, we're just gonna have to wait. I might switch accounts. We're down a little bit on this one. I'm gonna switch to a different funded account here and see if we can get something better on another one, so we don't lose too much on one. Nvidia's creeping up though. The highs of the day on Nvidia are about 128.50 or so. NASDAQ, Apple, Amazon, Tesla all breaking highs of the day, or getting close to it. Amazon's close. Tesla just broke highs of the day. Apple just broke highs of the day. So Yeah, we got new home sales data in 13 minutes. We'll cover. All right, we're still flying higher here. See if we end up breaking down some now. Markets are still going up big though. Hitting tops. All right, so there's a pullback dip. Part of me is nervous to take like trades against this trend, but we're gonna sit tight and wait. Oh, where's my coffee? We'll cover until new home sales come out. There's pullbacks in Apple, Amazon. So I actually just got myself back to break even on the other account. We kind of just took some trades here. If you guys want to see the trades we took, we're down $4 on the day on this one. Here's the other one that we were trading just so you can see it. We're down $4. We made 50 and then 225 on another trade. So doing kind of flat today, not really reading the market great, which is, I'm trying to trade smaller. Apple's at highs, Tesla at highs. I want to see how they perform here, because Amazon's dipping down. Nvidia's looking weak too though. I'm gonna short this, see if we can catch something. All right, just made a little bit. Gonna build up some cushion hopefully here. Yeah, it's a little volatile today, guys. Y'all just be careful. Nvidia's right here on this 200 exponential volume weighted average price level. So if it bounces here, in theory, it could drive the rest of the market back up. Apple just broke highs again too. Housing numbers drop in 9 minutes. 9 minutes, chat. Yeah, there goes Nvidia bouncing the 200 exponential volume weighted average price. Let's watch Apple, Amazon, and Tesla though. These are three stocks that I'm watching a lot. I'm gonna short this here. Take a couple trades. See if we retract down. I'm gonna take half off and just lock it out. Too much risk there, based off of how much it moved up short term. Flat so far on the day. So we're green on the day, but I don't like a short there, so I got out. The only thing moving up now, though, is Tesla. All right, we got 7 minutes. Tesla broke highs. Apple pushing up, breaking highs. I guess I'll buy it here, but we'll add to on down to the support resistance level. I was looking to add to it at least. Didn't get a chance to. There we go. We'll add there. Half off, took the rest off. Just made about $40 just now on that long. We got existing home sales and new home sales. Let me see. It is new home sales. Expectations are 671,000. So far so good. We're green here. We're flat on our other account. Where'd my other account go that I showed you guys? There it is. Yeah, I'm trying to watch all these other stocks. Like Tesla up to 405s. Amazon's starting to fight its way back. Nvidia's right at the middle range, though. It's kind of difficult to gauge what Nvidia's going to do here. Now we're starting to give it all back. All right, so we just made a really nice trade on our other account. Now we are up. How much are we up? We're up about $160 on that funded account. So far, so good. We're up about $40 on this one, so small nonetheless. Trying to trade both of these. If you want to see the actual trades, $70, $150. We're actually trading micros. We just got such a big retracement back up. It worked out in our favor there. And you can kind of see the green at the top here and the green at this one here. So we're up. Doing good. Apple's starting to give it back, though. We got to watch NVIDIA to see what we're going to get here. But look at that pop. Very flat action, though, chat. Very flat action. Existing home sales drops in 4 minutes. 3 minutes, really. Yeah, Apple's turning, but Amazon's fighting back now. Amazon's creeping up. So if I honestly, I would short here if I had to take a direction, but I have no freaking idea what's going to happen. The reason I like short is because Apple's breaking down, Tesla's pulling back, Amazon's pulling back, and Nvidia is stagnating. But it doesn't mean anything. That's just a straight up freaking guess, and we might just rip up and go the opposite direction. I genuinely have no idea. And with that said, we just tapped up to the highs here. Tesla's starting to dip, though. I think Amazon's maybe driving this market. Maybe Microsoft. Yeah, so look, we're just ripping up in my face. Oh, it's Microsoft. I haven't been watching this one. Microsoft's up big today. So, yeah. Maybe less microchip driven and heavy. Did Broadcom bounce back? Broadcom's kind of choppy today, though. It's like a symmetrical triangle, maybe. Tesla's still ripping up. Microsoft's still ripping up. Yeah, Meta 630s looks good. Yeah, so here we go, guys. We got less than a minute left before new home sales data. Then we're probably just going to get out of here. Before the data releases, again, we've been day trading on Top Step. We are green on basically all of our funded accounts. We're flat on one and green on the other two. And so far, a good day. If you want to check out Top Step, the edge is that I can trade micro contracts. Like, look, and I can make 24, 750. 7, lose 11, and there's 0 commissions. Look, 0 commissions, no PDT rule in futures. I can day trade. This is basically the QQQ price action in futures. Patterns are very similar to blue chip stocks. I, in fact, watch blue chip stocks to gauge direction. No PDT rule. Top Step gives you a demo. Test your skill with it first. If you pass the test, they fund you. If you fail, you only lose what you pay for it. In this case, the base one's $50, 90% split, and you get to keep your first 10K once you're funded, and then you could fund your own account if you want. Here's the new home sales data coming out. We'll cover this real quick. All right, so here's the new home sales data. It just dropped. It showed up at 698,000, way higher than expected. New home sales, 698K, way higher than expected. But again, if you want to check out Top Step, I'll put the link up. No PDT rule in futures. You can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the Russell, gold, currencies. In some ways, no PDT restrictions. Great way to learn how to day trade with limited risk. There's the link right there. They are an affiliate of mine. I am biased because I get paid by them. So I am biased. Confirm it all with them. I can't guarantee anything. Understand CFTC 4.41. Hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations. Guys, I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose. I have no freaking idea what I'm talking about. Don't copy me. And yeah, with that said, though, guys, I'm going to bow out. I guess I'm bearish here. I don't know which way to do it. I'm going to get out of here. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow we have durable good orders at 8:30. That's a big report tomorrow. We've got a bunch of earnings. Specifically, guys, just to put this into perspective, earnings-wise. This evening, we don't really have anything big, but we have Boeing, GM, Royal Caribbean, Lockheed Martin, RTX earnings tomorrow morning. After the bell tomorrow, we got Starbucks, Lending Club, Logitech, Stride, more. In terms of economic reports, tomorrow we have durable goods, the Case-Shiller House Price Index, and CB Consumer Confidence data. Wednesday, we got the Fed meeting, Microsoft, Meta, IBM, Tesla earnings Wednesday. Thursday, we got Apple earnings, GDP data. Friday, we have PCE data and more. So, yeah, so look at the turnaround. I thought I was short. I thought we were short here. I think a lot of stuff looks like it's going to pull back, but I might be wrong, guys. I'm going to get out of here. Y'all be good. Have a great day. And, yeah, I'll see you guys later. Y'all be good.